Mississippi.org. And if you take your browser to SuperTalkTV.com, you'll see I'm not alone in the Good Things studio today. I have with me Bryce Hinton. He goes by Big Red. He is a comedian from Richton, Mississippi. Hey, Bryce, or Big Red. I'm not sure. Which one you want me to call you?
It does not matter. It does not matter.
We'll start with Big Red. How did you get the nickname?
Okay, so Big Red come from my grandfather's three-wheeler. And anybody that's into the ATVs and all that, I have a 1986 Honda Big Red three-wheeler, and that's where I got the name Big Red.
And the fact that you're not short.
I'm not. not at all.
You're not short at all, so the name definitely fit. Okay, so you are probably, I'm trying to think, you may be my first or maybe my second comedian on Good Things, but you're definitely my first from Richton, Mississippi. So if we don't know our map very well, where is Richton on the Mississippi map?
Okay, let's see. I am about 43 minutes below Laurel.
Got it.
So straight down. It's literally straight down.
You've had to say that before, haven't you?
Many times. Many times.
I completely understand coming from Terry. We always say we're south of Jackson and then past Byram and then you find Terry, but before Crystal Springs.
I'm kind of here, but not
there,
over here.
Not over there. So that's it's exciting to have you here, and too that you're going after your dreams. But as a comedian, that's not something that everybody just wakes up one day and says, you know what, when I grow up, I want to be a comedian. And maybe you didn't say when I grow up, I want to be a comedian. But how did you find yourself kind of on this journey?
That's actually a very good question. I'm the funny guy. If you get what I'm saying in the group, I'm always the one that makes everybody laugh and always want to have fun. And, I had a lot of people tell me, you should really go into it. You're funny. You should do it. I'm like, I ain't going to do it. Hey, that's too far-fetched. And about a year and a half ago, I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. It took me 3 months just to get my name. But from there on, I went and I started doing it. So, yeah, about 3 years ago. I'll say 3.
Prior to 3 years ago, Bryce, what was Big Red up to? I mean, you said you were the funny guy. Was it just, shooting the breeze with your friends on the weekends? Was it always cracking the jokes, in school? Would you have been considered, the jokester there? Kind of, what was Bryce up to prior to deciding that, that pivotal moment of, I think I'm going to go for it?
Well, I was just your everyday person. I'm not from here. I'm really from Mobile, Alabama. I went to school there, graduated, come here, restarted my life, and pretty much was just working and, being your everyday person. And I kind of literally just got up one day, said, you know what, I think I'm going to do it. I asked 2 or 3 people, should I really, really do it? And they're like, why not? I mean, you have the idea, so why not, at least try it, give it a try. And here I am today.
Here you are today. Okay, this is cool because usually public speaking is the first layer of for most folks, they're terrified to do. And then the next layer would be if you could get past that, then it's like singing on stage. It's like yes or no is another level of terrifying of public speaking. And then you have comedian or being funny. Mm-hmm. That's to me, the height of terrifying things to do in front of people. I mean, it's one thing to say something and yes, people laugh. I get that, but it's another thing to say, I'm going to sit down and craft, a set of jokes and then deliver them to a crowd and pray that they, respond. Right. Everything about that makes me itch.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just trying to wrap my brain around, you're just sitting there in Richton, you're like, yep, I'm going to do that. I want to do that. So what is it about the idea of being on the stage and hearing the response of the audience laughing that excites you and doesn't, I'm sure there's a level of fear, but terrify you from not even trying?
I like it. I think everybody has their little quirks that they like. It's just some people I'm just going to say people that like doing drag racing. They like the thrill of racing. Well, I like the thrill of making people laugh. I love it. It helps me and it helps others because I'm a healer. I like to make people happy. So to know that I made that one individual or them 10 people, 100 people, however many I make laugh, that means the world to me.
When's the first time you tried out your chops at being a comedian?
This would have been May of 2019.
Where was it? Set the stage for us.
It really wasn't just a stage. It was my front porch.
That's okay.
My front porch. And I made a video and I posted it on Instagram. Just whatever. I'm going to make a little, it was a little skit. I think it was 40 some odd seconds long. Not long at all. And the reaction of it just, boom. I was like, wow, I'm just picking, bored. I was sitting on, like I said, sitting on the front porch, bored out of my mind. Whatever. I'm by myself, And people loved it. And I was like, that was my first indicator, I guess you can say, but I never chased it. I was like, oh, whatever. That was just a little spurt. Keep going. So that was the very first try at it. I wouldn't say I was trying, but that you could say that was the first try because I thought it was funny. People might think it's funny, so I'm going to post it.
If you were to categorize your comedy, or if you could pick a comedian in which you feel like you kind of not mimic, but resemble in terms of genre or style or, maybe this going after the same target audience, who would be kind of like your mentor, sort of?
Kevin Hart and Robin Williams.
Well, you couldn't have picked two different people.
That's the best way I can choose it. That's the best way I've been able to come up with it because I like talking about what happens in my personal life and what happens around, and when I hear, because it's amazing what you hear that happens around you. If you just shut your mouth, open your ears, you'll hear all types of situations and how everybody's life is different, and a lot of how I act and how I, really perform my comedy is like Robin Williams, very interactive, a lot of energy, a lot of upbeat, and Kevin Hart just talks about his family and how it's just, he just runs with it. All the crazy, talking about his little girl and all that's pretty much just how I do my comedy, but in my life. So that's the best way I can really describe what it's like.
No, that intrigues me. If you put Robin Williams and Kevin Hart in a blender, you'd get Big Red. I think that's kind of cool, and they both have very distinct styles that I think we can all at least appreciate as artists. Which even if every musician has their own, or singer has their own influence,
right.
Other artists who influence, and the best come from someone who has multi. I guess genres that influence them, or multi-type of different singers. So, as much as they're two stark different types of comedy, that's going to merge to be, one of a kind for Bryce.
Right. And I don't believe in being the same. Everything, people need to be different. And I'll be honest, I don't really see many Robin Williams or any more Kevin Hart's really coming up. You have your other comedians that's coming up that are extremely good. Don't get me wrong. I can't do what they do. But everybody's different. And just like you said with musicians, you can put 10 musicians in the room and all 10 of them is going to have 10 different forms of how they perform their art. So I love it. That's intriguing.
And the other part of the art with comedy, it's like us being a singer and a songwriter, right? You have to write your work and then
right.
you have to sort of perform it.
Right.
So where are you drawing your inspiration for your comedy?
Really everyday life. You go to work and you learn things at work, come home, you do something crazy out in the shop and you trip, fall, or drop something and break it, and you just go from there. Everything I do, I look at my life as if it's a movie. So everything that I see that's different or is interesting, I write it down, or I put it back as a memory and use it to format something else. So everything just...
Do you ask permission from your family and friends if they can be in your skit, or do you ask for forgiveness after the fact?
Sometimes they find out the hard way and they're like, he's talking about me.
You can change the names. No,
I never say their name. I'm kind enough not to say the name.
Well, but that's the bad part. You're kind. That's the bad part though about comedy, especially if you're going to use yourself in your life as sort of your muse, is the fact that your mama knows that she's your mama.
Exactly.
or whatever.
Exactly.
But with most artists, everyone gives them a grace because it's just their outlet and they know that it's all good fun. And you're going to have some fun coming up next weekend in Laurel at the Little Theater. So we've got more with Bryce Hinton, Big Red, coming up next here on Good on SuperTalk. Or you can just take your browser to supertalktv.com. You'll see we are continuing our conversation with Big Red, Bryce Hinton. He is a comedian from Richton, Mississippi, and he's going for his dreams. And you have your first big stand-up gig next Friday, right?
That's right.
And it's at the Little Theater in Laurel. So where is it in Laurel? Like if we were to
Downtown
come,
Laurel.
so downtown Laurel.
Downtown Laurel.
So how did the planets align for Bryce to get his name in lights?
Well, just started it. We had the idea. We need to get the Laurel Theater. I think we need to do that. Talked about it, never done it, and finally found somebody that knew somebody in there, and we just kind of went from there, and I got it. It took me right at 6 months to get it, but I got it.
You got it.
I got it.
So that means we've got to get out and at least support you and your dream and see what you got. And Jeff in Oxford said, "I'm so glad you have Bryce on today. He always wanted to try stand-up comedy, but never had the nerve." I can promise you that's nothing I've ever wanted to try. Like, I mean, that again, that just goes back to, I mean, we all have different interests, but the thought of that, of getting up there, terrifies me to have to do like the comedy sort of bit. But that's why there are folks out there who want to do it. That's you. So how are you preparing for it? Are you practicing? Are you practicing on your mom, your pets, whatever it may be?
More or less just trying to memorize all that I have wrote down. It's just like studying for a test. That's the best way I can really describe it. I can't really practice because who am I going to practice with? Myself in the mirror and laugh at myself? But, I mean, some people can.
I mean, if you laugh back, they do sometimes on Saturday Night Live. Those are the best skits when they can't hold it in. But I don't recommend laughing at your own jokes. Most people find that annoying, but I do it all the time, and I get told that's annoying. You're laughing at your own jokes. But anyway. So you practice, you're trying to memorize your stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And how long will the set be?
It'll be for an hour.
For an hour.
An hour. That's right.
That's right. That's the big time.
Oh, it's big time.
So it's next Friday at the Little Theater. Next Saturday. You show up on Friday, but he won't be there.
Yeah, you can always wait. No, that's fine with me too.
There's a lot of good stuff to do in downtown Laurel. Grab some snacks, hang out. Okay. So what time does it start?
Okay, seating starts at 6, but the show starts at 7 and ends at 8. And after the show, there's going to be a meet and greet, and you can come take pictures and talk to me if you would like.
If you would like. How do we get tickets?
Tickets are at the door. So come in. Tickets are $30 a piece. There's going to be a few workers there. Security's going to be there. So, all fancy and all that. But, yeah, it's $30 a ticket, and you pay there, and you'll get a little ticket. And come in and sit down and be ready for the show.
Will there be any streaming opportunities or anything like that, or is this in-person only?
I had a person, and I found out today that that's not going to work. So
that's okay. Now you have to come see.
Right.
Well, I think that's good, though. I mean, there's something about, seeing it in person. Comedy is one of the best things that, to me, as well as like sports, there's nothing that beats it live. So you can sort of feel the action of the person telling the jokes as well as the audience who's receiving, and it becomes a whole thing, right?
Right.
And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I also noticed on your social media accounts, Bryce, that you talk a lot about motivating others. I know, like Jeff in Oxford talked about never having the courage, although I tell him it's not too late. You can always get out there and fulfill your dreams somehow. But it feels like maybe you've been working up an uphill climb to reach your dreams, or to at least, I guess, win over those around you for your dreams. So what is your sort of message to people when it comes to that? Well,
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I am a big person to motivate people and keep going, and I have a tag on my car that says never quit. And I was always told, if you do something, don't quit. Don't start and then quit just because it got a little too hard or wasn't working out. Just never quit. You can change what you're doing, but never just quit and just, walk away from it. And just this generation now, people my age, younger and older, people have a bad tendency of quitting when right before they're able to achieve their goal, or they're almost there to get what they want. And people they give up too easily. That's why I say never quit. And me, hopefully one day I can tell my whole story. I've come from absolutely nothing and just constantly went up. And it's all because I just did not quit. I just never quit.
Where do you think that kind of passion or determination comes from?
It has to come within. If you don't have you got to have it in your gut. You just have to have the urge and the motivation within yourself to keep going. It's if you don't make yourself do it. It's hard to describe. It really is. Because I just do it. I'm just a do-it person. If I'm going to say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Some people don't have that, though. Some people have a struggle, which, hey, I can't say I've ever just went and done something. Sometimes I'm like, maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I'll wait later. But you have to have it in your soul. If you don't have it in your soul, you're not going to be able to do it. You can always quit and just back up and act like it never happened, but it's not the way you live life.
No. And what's the worst thing that can happen, right? Like it doesn't work out, or you know, you tried and then I think we've created a culture that's so terrified to fail.
Mm-hmm.
But
but
our culture would have never been created without those that were willing to risk failure. And so I think it's having that paradigm shift that even if you try and you don't succeed, it doesn't mean that the trying was in vain. There's always a lesson to be learned, especially if your motivations are with good intentions.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I mean, there's, you can find yourself in some trouble, but usually it's backed by, not the best intentions. But when your intentions are pure and you're going after something you believe in, even if it doesn't work out the way you want, usually there's a nugget in there somewhere that will redirect you to the place that you're supposed to be.
Right. I totally agree with you on that. And people really are scared of failing. To me, when I fail or when I mess up, I really don't say I failed. I didn't do that right. That teaches you. Just because you messed up that one time does not mean you got to completely shut it down. Try something else. There's a reason why that you failed at this or messed up this. Instead of run away from it, go, oh, wait. Oh, okay, now I get it. So let me try this. Well, next time you try it, you might just take off and run with it. It's just like playing basketball. My cousin plays professional basketball. You think he shot one time, missed, and said, screw it, I'm going. No, he kept shooting. Now he's playing overseas, So, I mean, never quit. Just
never quit.
Never quit.
Never quit. I think that's a great, motto to sort of live by, but also to remember when you're on stage for an hour, because in case they don't laugh at every joke, you can't quit and walk off and cry like I would, Bryce. That's exactly what I would do. I'm getting nervous for you, but I think it's going to be absolutely wonderful, and I think it's going to be the start of something great for you. And there's plenty of the Good Things family who may not be in the Laurel area. So if they're listening and they want to follow along with what you're doing, how do we find you online?
Go on Facebook. If you can follow my comedy page at Comedian Big Red. If you want to contact me personally, my name is Bryce Hinton on Facebook. I have a Snapchat account. If you'll look up at Comedian Big Red, you'll find me and sub to me, and you can talk to me there.
So I have an idea. I think we need to get you, Big Red, and Jeff in Oxford. He already knows his stage name. It would be Beer Keg. Women like six-pack abs, right? So I thought a beer keg belly would be even better. I think we need to get you both somehow here on Good Things at some time and let the two comedians
don't give me no ideas.
Live out their dream. I'm seeing you there in Oxford. I mean, Jeff in Oxford. It's never too late to go for
Come
what
on,
you
Jeff.
believe in.
Contact me. Quit being scared.
I think it would be a lot of fun too. And I guess too, if there's someone out there who has an open mic night that Bryce might not know about, then I know you are looking for other opportunities to.
Oh yeah, every day
to make folks laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you make your family laugh?
I make them cry, laugh. There's a difference. I embarrass my family.
Are you the one that you can't sit by in church? Or anywhere that's like serious?
Oh, if it's serious, you go and get ready, because I am not going to take it serious. I've been pulled over for going way too fast. Cop come up and I'm laughing. And he's like, "What's wrong with you?" You really have to be right there? I'm not even worried about the ticket or getting in trouble. I'm like, are you serious, man? It's just funny. That's how I live my life. Don't be all upset. Smile.
Life's too important to take so seriously all the time. Well, Bryce, we're wishing you nothing but the best. Thank you for taking time to come in. I'm sure this is the first of many. We'd love to have you back at some point. Maybe we can get you in with Beer Keg and Big Red. I think that would be a good time, Jeff. I'm looking at you in Oxford and you in Richton. But keep up with us, okay?
Okay, thank you so much for having me on your show.
And everybody connect with you online, Comedian Big Red on Facebook, as well as the other platforms. So,
Snapchat.
Snapchat. All right, stick with us. We got movies for you.